Hi, I'm Matt. I write as M.D. Presley, and I try to do all things world building, fantasy world building in particular. Problem with world building is that everyone has their own way to do it, and there are a lot of theories and techniques and stuff, but they are all scattered throughout the realms, and I tried to bring them all together and wrote a textbook on world building, and where everything from the history, starting with Tolkien, who was theorizing about world building before he even wrote The Hobbits. Before he did any of that, he was mad at an anthropologist and wanted to explain some things, and those are some of the cornerstones that we use, primary, secondary worlds. He coined those terms in 1920, and that's just kind of cool. And so brought all of that together and try to do a data-driven. It's, I look at things like, if I can find it, how audiences interact with maps. Do you want a map at the beginning? What size map do you want? And oddly enough, it's by a genre, like epic fantasy, yeah, you better have a map. Urban fantasy, nah, I don't really need a map. And if I do, I want it to be of the city, and I don't need any more. So I try to spend a lot of time looking on that, for audiences, how they interact with fantasy. So if you want to know how worlds work kind of thing, I really appreciate it. And for authors as well, I have a workbook with 750 questions based on what you need as an author for it. And yeah, that's it. World building in a nutshell.
Tell me how this will be helpful to a GM working in Dungeons & Dragons or Dagonheart. How would that help?
Well, for one of the first things you look at is inside-out world building, which is how people want to interact, how audiences interact, and that's what gaming is interactive storytelling with world building. And so you don't start with the gods. You start with, what are we doing for this session? And then the longer they play the session, the more they're going to want to know about the world. And that's one of the first things that we took that directly from the role-playing community, and that's one of the things in there. And it will just help to build a more vibrant, sensical world. I remember, and I'm blanking on his name, Erickson, I think, from Malazan, talking about how they got mad at one of the early D&D games. They're like, no, there's no way that there would be an elf community inside a dwarven land. That just doesn't make sense. And that's the kind of thing we were dealing with, making it feel more authentic for the gamers.
And also just talk about writers who would like to world build, how the world building book will help writers develop their worlds.
Well, my partner has said it's a textbook that she wished she had read a long time ago before she started. I use a tools, not rules approach. So I try to give you every tool in the toolbox so that you know what you need, when you need it, and it is there and available for you when you can say, oh no, I've written myself into a corner. How does so-and-so deal with that? How did I, so everything from starting your world as a top-down designer or bottom-up, who's already written something, and all the way to the end of, I made a mistake, how do I fix it?
Why are Comic-Cons so important for publishers like you?
Because it puts you directly in front of the people who are consuming your stuff, and you get to interact and hear from them and what they want, as well as what you want to give to them.
And if someone can't attend a con, how can they find you on your website?
mdpresley.com. I actually got my writing name as my website, and Forging Fantasy Realms is my YouTube channel where I weekly break down a new concept and then demonstrate it.